Okay, maybe we will carry on whilst Francesco is sorting out his audio. I'll just say what I was saying before. So, welcome back, everyone, to Human Dimensions Workshop. So today is going to be slightly different to the other days, as you can see by being in this session. So it's going to be more of a discussion so that we can answer any questions and answers that weren't already answered in the presentation days. So our sort of panel here, we have Faki, Cristel, and Francesco, who is working out his audio at the moment. I think we will hopefully be joined by Ravaja. I don't know if she's managed to join by the link, and potentially Maria Del Para. But for now, I think maybe we'll start with a question for Faki that we didn't manage to get to yesterday. So we had a question from Eduardo Rufino de Senagastal, asking how you used the expanded use of the website to other sort of fishing communities across Indonesia, or did it mostly happen through the participant fishers themselves? I think you kind of touched on this yesterday, but I was wondering if you could give that more of an answer.
Yes, starting already? Hey.
Oh, pardon? You dropped out for a second.
Have we started?
Yeah. It started, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, for that question, as I've already mentioned yesterday, it was originally also intended for the fishing communities, right? The citizen science platform. But along the way, we have not received any information from the fishing communities for the past 3 years. When most of the data that we got were from the diving communities, from the tourism sectors. So there's also another reason why we did not actively engage in fisher or the fishing communities, because in Indonesia, most of the utilization for shark and rays came from the capture fishers, right? So it's extracted for the market, which means it's dead, right? So there's also the fear of us creating some shore navigation platform for the shark fishers to know where to look for which species is where, right? So to answer that question, basically, no, we did not do any specific engagement to the communities, but as we wish to, and as I've already mentioned yesterday as well, to prevent fatigue and over bothering the audience or the public with the citizen science. What we do with the engagement is through our social media, and we targeted the whole public. Basically, we did not just targeting the tourism community or the fishing community. So what we posted is always, general engagement posts. Try to make them know that we are there, and eventually, I'm sure the fishing community will get the message. They will know the existence of our project, and hopefully, little by little, they will know that it's not a platform to harm for the sharks, but that's still a homework to be done, because we never know what they will think about the platform. But in terms of engaging fishing communities, as we did with our project in one of the nation park here, we instead provide them with a WhatsApp platform. So it's something that the local communities is familiar with instead of website, and that will be much simpler for them. So they can just share pictures, and then later we can follow up with them. Where did they catch it? What time? And how far is it from the park and stuff like that. Instead of ganging them up with questions like those in the website. I hope that can answer the question, Hedy.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Francesco, how are you getting on with your audio? Maybe he can't even hear us. Francesco. Okay, well, while he is still waiting for that to... I think it's not... okay. I assume he can't hear me. Try.
Oh,
he can hear me. Okay. Okay. Francesco, if you try at the bottom right-hand corner of your laptop, there should be like a little microphone bit. That might not be allowing access. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
yes, but we've got
good.
two of you on screen. I'm just going to remove what.
Oh yes, because I am in the other. I used another. I used Firefox now instead of Chrome. Chrome sometimes problematic.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Before you remove me, just remove myself. Let me remove myself.
I won't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, Rebecca says she has the same issue. So Francesco, you moved on to Firefox, is that right?
Yes, now I'm in
Okay,
Firefox.
Rebecca, maybe if you try that. Maybe try Firefox. That's weird though, because I'm on Chrome. Well, anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes Chrome has hiccups.
Yeah. So Francesco, we have a question for you here. By the way, anyone who's watching, please send in questions either in the chat or the Q&A. And then if you have a question that you actually want to, come on screen and say, we will more than happily let you in. You just have to request, and then I'll let you in. And then you can come on screen for a bit, ask a question, and then, yeah. So Francesco, or to all... Oh, no, we'll ask this one. So regarding... This is from Hakan Kabasakal. Regarding the isolated population of Mediterranean great whites, what do you suppose about the population size of this flagship mega shark in the region based on big data mining?
Yeah, yesterday we had this question. We responded this yesterday, and I told Hakan that we are using shark pools data to predict likely occurrence of white sharks in the Mediterranean Sea. So shark pools are being useful for especially for recent sightings and catches to map their distribution and their likely presence. And so, but for estimating abundance, we are integrating different data stream, different data sources for doing a stock assessment analysis. So the shark pools are part of this, but we are using more for sourcing other kind of data like fishing intensity, level of mortalities, and so using population parameters to estimate stock level.
Nice, thank you. And this was a question for everyone. So maybe if we get Aravaca... Oh, we've lost Cristel now, but I'll ask it anyway, and they can join in if they do. But this was to everyone. So how do you effectively handle the data, considering like the sort of diverse levels of experience, interest, and willingness among participants in the projects when it comes to sort of, the actual manual tasks of completing forms, cards, or transmitting the information? And do you have an established mechanism for evaluating the quality of the data if it's necessary?
So I think I can start with this, and Francesco can complement that. I think what our project has is similar with Francesco. It's just different approach. So basically, what we made similar is that we require pictures for the data to be submitted to our platform. Right, so that will be the quality control of the citizen science information, because as we know, shark species, even some, dashated ray species are difficult to identify even for experts. And so, with the pictures, we can help them as well with the identification and be confident of the species that they encounter. Right, that eliminates one of the concern with citizen science data, that it's not reliable. I think there was also a question asked about that, and to make it simple again, we we made the platform that can be accessed by anyone, that can be used by anyone without having the need to be trained before, right? So basically, people can just click the link and then fill in the information that they will know, because if they see or encounter the sharks, dead or alive, they will know that information. For example,
Mhm.
you saw a dead shark in the port. Some recreational fishers caught that. You will know when it is, what's the date, where's the location, what's the species. You will have the picture, stuff like that. So we we ask questions that is easy for them to answer. We avoid having to ask them questions like, was it pregnant, or was it a mature male, right? Things like that. We avoid that because people will not know about that, and I think that's the simplest way to engage as many people as possible. I think it's similar with Francesco, just the approach is different from us.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, our main requirements as well is having a picture. So having an image allows us to review this information. However, there are other aspects where we need to rely on what the users are telling us. And for example, when they are validating information, we cannot look at all hundreds of thousands of images. So we need to rely on their capability to tell us important information, species, um, and other aspects of whether or not the image was from an aquaria or from an aquarium, or where was it recorded, and so on. Associating the ID to the images is important because you can cluster the records on with the source users, and then we are analyzing these different clusters, and so we can recognize more and less reliable users. At the same time, we are developing tools to empower people with no experience and with no skills to give us the information we need. For example, in the ID guide, we are developing an ID guide, interactive ID guide, that is tailored specifically for people that are on their desk at their computer. They don't have the individual shark, so they need to recognize the species from what they see from the image, which sometimes and often is a partial representation of the individual. So from these questions, they need to be able to get to a certain identification level or classification level. I think this is the work to be done in these aspects, and yes, and that's what we are working on.
Thank you. And Christelle, did you have anything to contribute? I don't know if she can hear.
For our case, before we have a technical assistant who check the data and follow up with the data collectors, because we did survey in landing site. So we work with community, with local community, but otherwise we have trained community agents to use Kobo Toolbox to collect data in order to increase data quality and minimize errors about concerning the data. And we use some photos for individual sharks to support identification. And like Francisco said, we plan to provide support and training the local community for species identification too. Yeah, thanks.
You're still on mute, Hedy.
I'm still on mute. Thank you. I said I'm trying to get Rebecca in, so she may or may not appear in a second. But I found this an interesting question. is have you seen like an improvement in the pictures that you ask people to take as technology is getting better and better and more people have sort of, you know, it's more accessible to everyone. Most people have a good smartphone. Have you noticed like an increase in sort of quality of the pictures?
For us, yes. Oh yes, totally. Like when you see when you see pictures in the 80s or in the 70s, definitely the resolution is different. So also these were actual, not digital pictures. They were scanned and digitalized, and now it's a beauty to work with the level of resolution that it's available at the moment. Smartphones are all now ever increasingly powerful, so in terms of also resolution and quality. So totally, yes.
I think I can add a little bit to that as well, Eddie. For us, it's also one of the way for us to engage with the contributors. So they have to make account, like the short polls. They will get points each time they submit new information to the website, and for the consistent contributors, for some of them, sometimes they provide blurry image or they provide screenshots from videos, and if that's not identifiable, we will be blatant with them that we will reject that data, but we will provide information that, hey, this is not identifiable because it's too blurry, or we require full photos for this type of shares, and then they will get the notification. And so far we only have, like less than 10 data submitted from those consistent contributors that is unidentifiable, compared to those that has been submitted to us over hundreds of information now. So yeah, I can say that as they get engaged and as they get involved more in the project, they will know how to get better pictures along the way, even with screenshots from videos.
And another thing to add to this, like, I mean, sometimes there is a difference when people share pictures in Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram. In these platforms, the pictures are stripped of their data, and so you cannot access the access of this data. So it's always preferable when people submit through our apps the original image taken from the phone, because it's the original image that has all the data that can save us time in identifying location, time, and other technical parameters that can be useful for working with the images.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it's easier to just have the original than have to like go through.
The original has more data, yes.
Yeah. Christelle, did you have anything to add? Maybe not. So we have someone, Andriambola, who I'm going to allow in, who I think may have a question. So hopefully they join in a second. Or maybe not. I've allowed them to access, but maybe they're not gonna. Okay, we've got Angela now who wants to come in.
So just to understand, we are in a breakout room with 20 people, 19. What's a 4 of 50?
Yeah, here? So the 4 is us who are on screen, and then there are 19 people watching it.
And the 50 is the total capability, right?
The total capability of people just on screen, but there can be like 1,000 people watching it, I think.
All right, I see.
People seem to be. Here we go. Here's Angela. Hi, Angela. Did you have a question?
Well, I have. I mean, I want to let all the people know that are working here with using citizen science for conservation, a project that we are involved in Galapagos. we started this project. It's called Shark Count, and I'm supposed to find my partner here, but I can see her. So, anyways, it was really interesting, all the work that you are working on, and it's amazing. You give us an idea how to keep it on working with the project, and also we have some well, how to say, like some problems, because sometimes the people just get fatigued to using the app. We have, by the way, we have an application, and when you go there to Galapagos, and you can download it, and supposed to you go to do snorkeling or diving, or if you see any species that we have to record, and you can put the numbers, the species. There are some questions that you will have in the app, just to get the abundance, also the species, and especially for get the information that the species that we had, and all the interaction that there with the divers. So also we started in the coasts and in the mainland, but as I said, we just started to give us more. We want to try to give us more presence to the application. So we started working with guides, guiding people, and also I don't know how to say this word, guardaparques.
Like National Guard.
Rangers.
Yeah, rangers, yeah.
Exactly. Because to be more able to get information, because the thing is that sometimes you go as a tourist and you don't know anything about the application, or you go as a tourist and then maybe you forgot everything about just to publish anything, whatever. So that has been difficult for us to maintain the users and the things. So I don't know if you can give me an idea how to improve this or find these problems. We try to encourage the community, work directly with them, go to I don't know, make some if you get the 50 publications, you get this shirt or whatever, but sometimes they just get fatigued sometimes, I don't know. And right now we have someone involved directly in Galapagos, but it's not all the time in there. So it's kind of bit hard to continue. So I don't know if you can give me an idea, or we can, for example, I thought that maybe Shark Pools, we can work with us together. You get data from there, and we also get data from you. I don't know.
No, totally, Angela. So one thing that we are doing, so again, like this is a problem in citizen science projects. Like you get engagement fatigue, and then at some point, like you need to communicate a lot. You need to put a lot of effort in making sure that you reiterate your needs and the importance of what you are doing. For this reason, we are also going to the source instead of just asking the source to come to us. The other thing we're doing, and that is pertinent to collaborations, we are also trying to breach linguistic barriers and and trying to make our network more fine and capillary, and by creating national focal points. So if you want to collaborate with us, you could be in charge of Shark Pods Galapagos, and then we can support you with our cyber infrastructure for sourcing data from and organizing data, and then at the same time you can help us as well in increasing our reach in that area, and that is so you could also reach out, and that would be useful for reaching out in Spanish or reaching out to have people on the ground that can establish these local networks. And that's the same for other nations like Indonesia, or we can totally collaborate in a way to just be synergistic in. So we can provide the support, the data support, and the cyber infrastructure, and then you can actually help us in increasing our reach and connection with communities that may not speak English. They may speak only vernacular or local languages. They may not, the context of the area, right? Or they may not use social networks or use a peculiar social network that is more frequent. Like, for example, in US, WhatsApp is not very popular, but in Europe it's very popular. So there are local conditions that are for which it is important to have a local presence for nurturing and developing this network. So totally, please reach out, and I would love to have Shark Pods Galapagos, for example. So so that would be great.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we for sure will do that. And the thing is that we want to maintain like the getting involved the community there. Yes. So like you are doing this for Galapagos because you are a Galapagos people. So yes, just continue, contribute, and that's all. So yeah, for sure, everything. The important also is just also the sharks. We want to get
totally. I mean, the project can be your project that is also acting as a Shark Pools Galapagos, but it could be it is your project.
No, I mean, with the data is important and share and work, as you say, a network, a big network. That's amazing. But also we will continue working hard with the people in there just to get, exactly, to just please use the app, whatever. The tourists also, I don't know.
Exactly. So, for example, we have Shark Pools Italy, who people in Italy are engaging with fishers. They have their own communication channel through WhatsApp, and then they can source information from these auxiliary information channels. And then the Shark Pools Italy will periodically upload these records into our platform, and this platform can be accessed by anybody. And then the same for Shark Pools Greece and Shark Pools, we are now establishing Shark Pools Tunisia. We had Shark Pool Brazil, and we were discussing about Shark Pool Mexico, and so on. So it's we have Shark Pools South Africa as well, so that people that will speak also Zulu, and so it is definitely having people on the ground that knows ocean users, stakeholders, and build this network physically. It's important. Hi,
by the way, I tried to change the camera. Thanks anyways for the idea. We will keep in touch.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds like the beginning of a good collaboration.
Yeah, I hope so.
Awesome. So Angela, you can stay here if you have more questions, or if not, I'd just like to remind people that they can keep questions coming in through the chat if they're watching. And If not, then I will just carry on with some of the questions that we didn't get to yesterday. So this was one that I think we did sort of cover a bit yesterday, but I thought we could reiterate. So this is from Meghana Binraj, who says, my question is, when and where and how do you declare fishing or trading illegal? Something that is unlawful internationally, say like multilateral agreements, may not be unlawful at local and national level. And how does that apply to the sort of usability of citizen science data in that region?
That's a long and tricky question.
Yeah.
Can you on the chat?
Yeah, can you paste the question again? Because that seems complex, right?
Oh, can you see that? No, maybe not. There you go.
Got it.
I mean, this isn't like, and then I guess how does it relate then to citizen science and the usability of citizen science data?
I think I get the question. Yeah, not sure if this is related to citizen science though.
Yeah, it might be a bit off topic.
But I think it's related with that one question from Iran. To use citizen science with with illegal fishing. Yeah, I think this is similar. I don't know if this is a follow-up question or not, but I think we can connect this.
Yeah.
Yes, and no. I don't think we can declare something that is internationally illegal to be illegal nationally, and it does not mean being agreed internationally like the CITES means it's illegal internationally or nationally as well, right? So it goes down to the national regulation in their respective country. Then again, and again with citizen science, with illegal practice, I think we've discussed yesterday. Maybe we can use a more active approach, but not so directly with the subject in question, right? So we don't really want to question the fishers that's been doing these illegal activities, because then again, we don't want to make them, kind of like the main evil character here, because they may not be doing it for the sake of catching the sharks, because there might be pressure economically, stuff like that. And if we want to use citizen science to be able to solve this issue, confronting them right head on might not be the best approach. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Maybe the others can add to this.
Yeah, I think it depends on the. I mean, it depends on the at the end. Like as Faki was saying, like it goes down to the national legislation. Like I mean, it's if it's legal in the nation, you cannot do anything. Like it's legal, and so they are not participating to multilateral agreements. If they are participating to multilateral agreements, then it should be illegal in the nation if it's binding. So it depends on the legislation and legal context.
I think
that makes sense.
And that's the second case for the Persian Gulf. Yes, this is a more usual case. There may be nations where things are illegal, but still you get lots of information from pictures and social networks of these illegal events, and then it's up to you what you want to use, what you want to do with this information. This information can help you to do science or ecology or biology, but it can also help you to work on the compliance aspect of the case. So it totally it's frequent that you see images of shark of illegally of catches that are illegal for white sharks, for example, as well, and even though in the nation it's illegal to catch or sell.
I think there's also the idea of creating a platform of citizen science specifically for illegal trade enforcement, right? So people, I mean common people like us, we don't have the right to apprehend illegal activities, including fishing. That also applies to some of the government body, aside from the police institution to apprehend criminal activity, right? So maybe there can be a platform where people can report illegal activities. So that way we can also use citizen science, but we will ask people that see that event to report to the authority. So it's not data collection um, in the basic, but it's more of a enforcement of the local or the national law that has been established. But then again, it depends. In a country, there may be regions that protects all shark and ray species, such as a sanctuary. But in other regions in the country, it may still be allowed. So the application of the citizen science itself will have to adjust to that as well. So people or the public, they don't take it wrong that catching sharks and rays of all species are illegal. And I think uh, that's also the case. For example, in Indonesia, the understanding of the public here is that fishers not supposed to catch all shark and ray species, where there's only a few of them being fully protected.
Cristel, I saw you unmuted yourself for a second, but I wasn't sure if that was to say something or by accident.
Yes. As Francis Fatty said, it depends on the legislation. For our case, for example, we have there are an internal regulation for managed areas too, which means that some species are illegal. Maybe it is not illegal in on international on national level, excuse me, but it was illegal for the managed area. So fishing, for example, fishing whale shark is illegal on the area. Just for example. So it depends on the legislation, on the area. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Cristel. So I think that's pretty much all of the questions that we had through from yesterday, and I don't think we actually have that many people asking questions on here, if anyone. So unless any of the speakers had questions for each other, or anyone wanted to send through a message or a question on the chat now, or if anyone else wanted to come on camera, then feel free to do so now.
I think, if I may, Hedy, I'm interested in what Angela explained about the sharkhound.org that she's been doing in Galapagos. If Angela is still here, I'm curious about what's the current issue with the engagement right now, or if you've done kind of an evaluation with the guests or with the rangers or with the tourism operators there that have been using the application, because I think if you've done so, I would like to learn, from you as well.
Hi, yeah, I'm still here. Well, actually, I'm not the the person who is carrying on all the data analysis, but I can anyways contact with the other partner and, I don't know, explain you better than me what we were doing there with the data. But yes, we are working, as far as I know, we are working with the data from different, because when you download the application, you go as an user, and you there's a way to say you are a tourist, you are a guide, you are a ranger, you are whatever you are a searcher. what kind of experience you have. For example, also to identify charts or whatever, the application, it was already also updated, because at the beginning you just put data from diving, but now you can also, if you're snorkeling or on a boat and you see a shark, for example, a whale shark, that you can be like whale watching, but yeah. And so you can separate the data that depends on who were publishing the sightings. So yeah, it's very nice, and we had I don't remember exactly, but for sure from 2018. From there we started the project. So yeah, we can talk better, because as I told you, I have never managed the data, but I know that my partner, she did it. So we can keep in touch and resolve all any doubts later.
Sure, definitely.
And if I can say one last thing, I'd like to reiterate our invite to. We would love to collaborate with local and national initiatives. We would love to enlarge our networks to have people on the ground, and usually and to have these national focal points. And usually this is a good opportunity and occasion to just establish collaborations and also writing papers together and deepening some aspects of the in the local context. So please reach out to us, and we'll be happy to just engage in collaborations.
Thank you, Francesco. Yeah, I think that's a really good shout. Cristel, did you have anything you wanted to add, like as a sort of goodbye? I'm not sure if you can actually hear me. Faki, did you have any other discussion points before we sort of bring everything to a close?
Maybe just one last thing is that kind of something small to share as well is that when we first started this project of citizen science, we were kind of ridiculed by some researchers, saying that the trend right now is working with species specific project. That's what was said to us. But we ignored that and look at us now. I mean, look at all the citizen science project, and it's kind of a win for citizen science, because we've been invited to national consultation for data gathering for species protection and stuff like that. So maybe it's kind of a motivation as well that citizen science is great. I'm saying we should not be discouraged. If anyone would like to start a citizen science project as well, as Francesco said, either to build a network of shark pools, or people just want to start their own initiative in their own country. I think for me personally, I would love to help, even if it's just consultation stuff, because it's not easy, with some of the pessimism the researchers currently have, the old mindset. We have to fight that, and I think citizen science can be a very reliable tool in the future.
That's very good. Yes.
I think that should be the takeaway from this session: is citizen science is great. Definitely.
Definitely.
Cristel is saying that her internet is bad, so she might not be able to speak. But yeah, unless anyone had anything else, thank you so much, Faki and Francesco, and Cristel and Ravaka and Maria, who didn't manage to join us, for your presentations and contribution to this session. And Angela, thank you so much for coming on screen and asking your questions and telling us about your organization. And yeah, it sounds like there's going to be a good sort of collaboration there with you and Francesco. So exciting stuff.
That's good. Thank you very much, Hattie, for your support and coordination, and thanks everybody for organizing this. All the organizers. So it has been a great workshop. So well done. Thank you.
Well done, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.